Hi, it's Julian again with another edition of Shameless. This time it's about Bill Maher and James Corden. Recently, Bill Maher did a New Rules sketch on his show Real Time with Bill Maher about a couple weeks ago, and he was talking about how fat shaming needed to make a comeback. And ironically, James Corden came back with his own editorial about how it doesn't. And I'm totally in full support of James Corden. But at the same time, to be fair, I understand what Bill Maher is trying to do. Bill Maher is a provocateur. We already know that. We know he's a comedian and he tells jokes, but he also tells jokes that are to provoke thought and provoke emotion to get a response out of the individuals he is trying to provoke. Now, in this particular case, he's trying to provoke people who are, in my opinion, clinically obese, not in the visual sense of what we think is obese, because that's not what the case is. But in actual clinical obesity, he's trying to light a fire underneath people. Because remember, if in one of my Ask the Pro sessions, I talked about the Jordan mentality and how any slight, any form of disrespect that I determine to be disrespectful, I or people like me and Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant will take that and use it as fuel to motivate us to be better than we were the day before, right? Now, he is specifically aiming for people with that particular mindset, obviously, because if he is in the editorial, he demonstrated concern for one's health due to obesity, concern for one's financial well-being due to obesity. However, his way about going about it was all wrong. He attacked and said you should shame, when I believe the truth is that you should be empowering people to do better. You should give them the information that they need to inform themselves on what it is that they need to do to fix the issues that is plaguing them. Now, for instance, there are two forms of ways, in my opinion, that you can become obese, right? It's overnourishing, which is a terminology that I use, and overeating, which is the typical standard of what people believe obese people do. Now, let me break it down to you. Again, if you haven't seen my YouTube videos, it's the very first YouTube video I've ever made. This was way back in 2011. Overnourishing versus overeating. Overnourishment is simply you intaking too many calories based on your level of activity, versus overeating is the act of putting food into your mouth without stopping, or constantly putting food in your mouth without thinking about it, right? Or you constantly put food in your mouth to anesthetize your emotions, or you're constantly putting food in your mouth to make yourself feel better about who you are, because you have fallen into a level of depression. Now, what I want y'all to understand is, number one, my job as a personal trainer is not to get you skinny. My job as a personal trainer is to get you healthy. I can do so many things as a personal trainer if you would just allow me to help you, and people like me to help you. It's not just about me. The truth of the matter is that I've done things like help clients get pregnant. I have helped friends of mine not only to get pregnant by giving them advice that ironically their own doctors told them, ironically behind it, but the same advice that I've told friends of mine, I've also helped clients get pregnant. Now, in that fashion, there are several things that people need to understand what Bill Maher was trying to say, that death is knocking on your door. If you are actually clinically obese, and I am not speaking about your BMI is over this, no BS, right? I'm literally speaking about your body fat percentage is over 30 if you're male, over 35 if you're female. That is clinical obesity. I don't care if you weigh 100 pounds or you weigh 1,000 pounds. Clinical obesity, period, is going to kill you, right? The thing is that to simply just make fun of and attack and shame you into doing it is not going to work. All it's going to do, like Mr. Corden said himself, is going to kick you while you're down, make you feel more depressed, and maybe exacerbate the situation further. And instead of making it better, it actually makes it worse, right? The thing is that as a professional, my responsibility is to empower you and educate you so you can make the best decisions possible so that you can be in the best body that you need to be in. One of the hallmark things that I like to hang my hat on is that literally, I'm not trying to get you skinny. I'm trying to get you healthy. I have clients that I have told to their faces that you need to just get down to 150 pounds, 160 pounds, maybe even 170 pounds. In their minds, they thought I was going to tell them they need to be 110 pounds. They need to be 120 pounds. They need to be 130 pounds, depending on their height and weight, right? And that's not the case. Your body fat percentage, along with your actual muscle mass, will determine to me what your body is supposed to look like. It is not based on what my eyes tell me, simply uneducated eyes tell me, because my educated eyes, believe it or not, I will shock you if you were to give me the challenge. I can actually probably come close to telling you what your actual body fat percentage is just by simply looking at you, right? But that's after years and years and years of measuring people's body fats, observing the differences in body compositions, and seeing those things firsthand has gotten me to the point where I can probably eyeball you relatively close, right? Not only that, the problem is that by shaming people, you are not getting to the root of the problem. It could be poverty. It could be depression. It could be food deserts. It could be a lack of activity. It could be a place where they live is not safe enough for them to be active. And therefore, all of these conglomerate of issues comes into play and determines whether or not people are going to be successful in their endeavor to be the best versions of themselves, right? So if you live in an unsafe neighborhood, you really think you're gonna go out jogging at night? Because that's the only time you got to jog, because you damn sure ain't gonna get up at 6 o'clock in the morning to go run, because at 6 o'clock you're getting up to go get ready for work because you gotta be at work by 7, or you gotta be at work by 8. And you're gonna be there all day. There's no time that you're gonna have before then to get there, right? So you're gonna go afterwards, right? So if you live in a bad neighborhood, where are you gonna go? No businesses are trying to build in your neighborhood, right? So if there's no businesses like a gym that are trying to build in your neighborhood, guess what's gonna happen? You are going to fall short. You're going to fall short because you don't have a place to train. Yes, I know people are going to say, well, what about your house? Yes, your house will get you somewhere. Your house will, in fact, get you somewhere. But when you really need to grind and train hard and push your body to levels beyond what you're accustomed to get that final transformation, you're not getting it at home. I don't care what anybody says. You're not going to get it at home. You're going to get it in a place that can train you and get you in the best shape possible. All right? You've got time. Yes, there are some at-home physical fitness training protocols that might help you, like P90X, like Insanity. But if you go back and look at those workouts, how many people who are clinically obese are capable and are desiring to do that level of work right off the bat? Not saying that they can't do it ever, but right off the bat, that they're just gonna go in there and just go start doing Insanity and P90X right off the bat. They're not. And if you wanna argue me down about it, we can have that debate at any time you want. And I'll have it either face-to-face, teleconference, Skype, or we can have words on Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube. It doesn't matter. But the truth of the matter is that when somebody's knees are arthritic, somebody's hip is bad, somebody's back is bad, somebody's neck is hurting them to such degrees where it's causing them tension headaches. These are all factors that causes people to not exercise regularly. When the truth of the matter is that this is the time when you really do need to exercise regularly, right? Bill Maher actually talked about concerns of stroke, diabetes, and stroke, diabetes, cancer, arthritis, all of these things that do plague people with high levels of obesity, he stressed a concern in the editorial. It wasn't all about jokes and being degrading to clinically obese people. However, let's be real. What are people going to hear? People are going to hear the negative connotations and the bad, poor in taste jokes that he made in regards to fat shaming, or body shaming is what I would prefer to call it. Personally, like I said, I personally think he could have done better with that. He didn't have to actually editorialize that and make jokes about it, but guess what it's got us doing right now? It's got us talking about him, his show, and not only that, but about the situation at hand. Mr. Corden, on the other hand, eloquently spoke on it, and I'm just touching base on it, and I'm letting people know that you have an ally in not only me as a personal trainer, but you also have allies in people who are fit, who believe that you deserve to be fit as well. I want y'all to understand, fitness does not equal shredded, because even bodybuilders are not shredded all year round. Athletes are not shredded all year round. These people are not shredded all year round, but they do have a higher muscle mass than the average person, which is the keys to your health. All right? So remember, you matter. You matter. You matter to your friends. You matter to your family. You matter to your loved ones. You matter in this world, and nobody deserves to be shamed about their physical conditions. However, you should be empowered to do something about it, because something does in fact need to be done about it. I am not going to sit here and hold your hand and coddle you and make you feel as if being in the body that you're in is the best thing for you. You can still be beautiful in the body you're in, being clinically obese. However, what I will say is that being beautiful is not enough. Being beautiful does not justify you finding yourself in a position of detriment just simply to make a statement against somebody who is making fun of you. I'm going to ask you a question that I want you to ponder about. If somebody makes fun of you based on your body type and you do nothing to change it, who wins? Let's flip it around. You do something about it to change it. Who wins? I'm gonna keep that in mind, because just because they got you, they made fun of you, and you got motivated and you changed your body for the better, whether it be to be a smoking hot Instagram model, or whether it's to be just in good enough shape to run a marathon, or whether it be just a good enough shape to climb the highest peak of highest mountain, or is to just be able to run around with your children, to be able to be physically able to run around with your children. Who cares? Got is got. You are now in a position better than you were in when they made those crass, crude, insulting comments. Guess what? You win, right? But they got what they wanted because now you've changed, right? But they don't got what they want because they don't have you. Because they might want you now. But guess what? All those crude, nasty, crass comments that they made lets you know that they're not worthy of being with you, right? Now, the point of the matter is that if you don't go, who wins? Nobody wins, but guess who loses? Your friends, your family, your loved ones. Because at the end of the day, they're going to be the ones to lose out on having the joy of having you be around for the time that you were supposed to be around, but because you refused, or not only refused, or because you felt so down about yourself that you did not empower yourself to do something about it, you end up prematurely dying. And yes, I'm going to say prematurely dying. Nobody deserves that. All right? Have a nice day. Be the best you. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and follow me on Instagram, YouTube, and on Facebook. Peace.